Hello, welcome. I'm gonna teach you the way inheritance works in Java. So first of all, we need to know what actually inheritance does. Imagine that we have a superclass and a subclass, or we could have more than one subclass. So imagine that the superclass is a human, which has its own features, for example, name, height, job, and of course, getter and setter methods, its own constructor, and of course, the methods. Alright, in order to use inheritance, we need to have a subclass that inheritances the features of the superclass. So, when I say features, I don't mean only variables. It includes all of these methods and variables. Alright, so let's just make this subclass in the project package a new Java class which can be idle. Alright, so this is the subclass. What are we going to do? Idols are also humans, so they have every single feature that human has. Alright, which includes name, height, job, and of course all of these methods right here. Okay, so in order to use inheritance, we should just type extends and the superclass, the name of the superclass that we want to inheritance, which is human here. Alright, there's an error here because superclass has its own constructor, and while using inheritance, we should just have the constructor in the subclass too. So if I just come here and just click the constructor matching super, we see the constructor right here. Okay, and pay attention that when the constructor includes these features, we don't need to actually define them here again, but we can define some other features. For example, string role, or string band name, or int members number. Okay, and we can have the methods here, these methods. In a subclass we have two groups of methods: the methods that the subclass extends the superclass, and the methods that belong to the subclass. Alright, but how can we use the superclass's methods? This way, just click Alt Insert. We should come here, override methods. Override methods are actually the methods that we have already defined in the superclass, and now by clicking on this we can use them right here. Use any of them. Look, setters, getters, and of course some of the void methods that we had defined over there. Because the feature of name is a private in the human class, name will be private here, so I need to just use this one too, and this and this. Alright, look, no, they're actually the methods that we needed. Okay, but look at this. The override tag actually shows that these methods has been inherited. Look at the content of the methods. Super, you can see super right here. The keyword super mentions the superclass. Super.getName means the superclass getName method. Okay, and here super.working method means the superclass working method, and here as well. And the way we use the idle class, which is the subclass, is the same that I use a superclass in the main. For example, I just have to, let me just remove this all. I just have to create an object here. Okay, so I just have to feed the fields out. This one could be, for example, v, and height will be 178, and job would be, of course, an idol. And when I just click dot, I can access all of the features and methods. Beside the features, we can actually access all of the methods right here. It doesn't matter which of them you override here. When this class extends human, you can actually use all of these methods here. But why we override them? Because we want to make some changes here. I'll tell you what, but let's come here and see all of the features and methods of the superclass, and of course the features that the subclass has for its own. Okay, so I want to use working, and let's just run it. Look, this is actually what the working method is going to display. So, for example, I want to make some changes, but how? For example, when you're an idol, you might want to introduce yourself not the way other humans introduce themselves. For example, you want to say, instead of my name is, you want to say, hey, it's my name, for example. Okay, but how can we do this? I'll tell you how. You just have to come here in the override method introduction right here. You just have to remove this, okay? And this is not gonna work again the way the superclass does. And how it's gonna work? I can write whatever I want here, and of course, for example, system that hey, it's plus this name, of course this get name, plus from this band name. This will be a really good way to introduce for an idol. Okay, so let's just try this one here. I just have to fill the field of band name right here. For example, V from BTS. Okay, and instead of working, I want to use introduction this way, and let's just run it and see what happens. Hi, it's V from BTS, not just my name is V, like the way the superclass was. The subclass has its own introduction method, but sometimes in addition of the superclass, I need something else. Let me show you. For example, here an idol says my job is, and of course I want them to say, here I can make any changes. Okay, so I want to say, and my role is, there was a role, right? Yes. Plus, sorry, this role, and this role means the role of the object that we have called, which is idle here. Okay, so let me just fill the field of roll out right here. Roll, which is a vocalist. Okay, and let's call this function out. Okay, working. Idle dot working. Alright, so there's a super here, and of course there's something else that I have added. Therefore, this function is in charge of both of them actually. First, it goes to super working, that is here, which is my job is idle actually, and after that comes here and displays this one. Okay, let's just run it and watch. Look, my job is idle, which actually is in charge of this method, and my role is vocalist, this one. Okay, and heights V from BTS is the other function, which is introduction. Okay, so this is the way that we can use the inheritance features and functions in a subclass. And of course we can use setters and getters. For example, we know that name was a private feature here, so how can I just use it here? Let me show you. When you just create the object, you just have to use the setter, and that's all. Okay, where is the setter? Right here. And the setter will be, for example, I wanna say this will be JK. Okay, and that's all. Let's just run it again. It's JK. Alright, and of course getters. Inheritance rules, it actually allows Java to be an OOP language and distinguishes it that way. So it's not something easy to understand, but it's not that difficult too, and you can practice it by making a lot of classes or super classes, whatever you want to, and figure it out. And of course there's a point here. Every class can extend only one class, so remember that the superclass should be general enough to be extended. Okay, we need to create a lot of subclasses, and this might be so much more difficult. You have to be more careful to choose your superclass. And that's all, and see you